how to scale ads. So starting in the ad account, we're going to go to goals. So in goals, this is showing us the primary conversion that we want to focus on. And in this instance, it is purchases. Okay. So this is the most important thing. Make sure you're tracking the setup that it's actually tracking purchases, because you could have it attribute conversions to any of these, right? And let's say local directions, anything like this. And if it's not attributing to the actual sales conversion or the purchase conversion, it is inaccurate and it will not make sense. Okay, so that's the first thing. So going over the data here. So we've had 212 conversions approximately in the month of March. And the total pulled conversion value from the e-commerce software was 11,557. Okay, so now let's go do some math. So if we're like, hey, we want to make more money next month. Well, first, is it limited by budget? Let's look at it. Campaigns. And yes, it is. Fantastic. Okay. So let's go to the ad account, and we can at least scale one of these and increase the budget. Okay. So scenario one, this is our current scenario. We have spent $507 on ads. We have accumulated 212 purchases. Each cost per purchase is about $2.39. The average cart value is about $54. So the total return on ad spend is approximately $11,484. Now, if we subtract the ad spend, this is actually inaccurate. Let's see. Actually, no, it's accurate. If we subtract the ad spend, it comes out to $10,977, which gives us an approximate return on ad spend of 21 times, which is a great return on ad spend. All right, so now how do we scale it? Well, let's say that we wanted to essentially double our ad spend. Now, if we double our ad spend, we're going to assume that purchases drop somewhat, right? So let's say we double our ad spend, and instead of having 424 purchases, let's say we drop it by like another 100 purchases. So let's make it extreme, which probably would be way more than this, but let's say we got 285 purchases. Okay. And when we get 285 purchases, you would be able to accumulate, let's say the cost per purchase went up by almost $1. Okay. The average cart value, let's assume, stays the same. That will give us a return on ad spend of $15,000 approximately. And that would make our return on ad spend $14,438 if we subtract out the next $500 of extra ad spend, right? So once again, it drops our ROAS to 14 times instead of 21 times. But once again, we're making an extra $3,500 to $4,000. Okay, now let's go more extreme. Let's say we quadruple the ad spend. And let's say we quadruple the ad spend, and instead of getting 800 something purchases, we are going to get, let's say 400. Let's say we get 400 extra purchases. Okay, and let's say that means the purchase conversion cost is went up by almost double or more than double. Okay, so average cart value stays the same. Return on ad spend is $21,668. $2,000 minus the $21,668 gives us $19,000 of total ROI after ad spend. And once again, our ROAS has dropped significantly, right? From 21 times to 9 times. But if you were able to put your money into anything that would create a 9 times return, would you do it? Absolutely. All right. So that's that. Okay, let's go more extreme. Let's 10 times our ad spend. We 10 times our ad spend, assuming that the budget and everything on the Google Ads is still limited by budget. There will be a point of diminishing returns, but we don't know where that is at, so we want to find it. So let's say we spend $5,000 on ads. There's just 10 times this amount, of course, or close to it. And let's say that we don't get over 1,000 purchases, because it's not going to scale that directly. But let's say we get 600. Okay, so that means the cost per purchases went up, once again, nearly 4 times. And the average cart value is going to stay the same, of course. We're going to get a return on ad spend of $32,000. We subtract out 5,000 out of 32,000, and that gives us 27,000 approximately. And that gives our ROAS, that sets our ROAS up at about 5.5% or 5.5 times. Now, once again, if we were to just stay with the $500, we would make $10,000 total, right? Net, or almost $11,000 net. But if we were to increase our ad spend by 10 times, and if scale held true and we're able to scale to that point with getting more purchases, then you would get a significantly higher return on cash, right? With an extra $16,000, give or take. And even if your ROAS drops to 5 times or 5.5 times, it's still going to make you more money. Okay, so that's the scenario. So technically, the difference between this spend and this spend will be about $16,000 extra on the front end of cash collected after everything's said and done. Okay, so that's Google Ads. So let's go to Facebook ads now. So current ad spend on Facebook ads is $477, right? And let's go to the Facebook ads here. Here we go. Okay, so we have these Facebook ads. So we got 70 purchases when spending $441 of total ad spend. So if we go over here, that gives us an average cost per result of $6.31. Okay, and these are the different stats here. Now, of course, some are more expensive than others. So how could we optimize this any further? We could just shut this one off and go from there. But that's in a different video. So let's go back to scaling the ads. Okay, so we spent $447. We received 70 purchases. It is costing us approximately $6.38. I just did this by memory. Let me make sure I put that in correctly. $6.31. Let's redo that. Okay. Let's go back one more time just to make sure this is correct. So 70 purchases. Total spend was $441. And there we go. Okay, cool. Let's go back here again. Okay. All right, so we have so many purchases, $441. So about a $6.30 cost per purchase. And the average cart value is approximately $44.70. So once again, if we were to multiply this out, we multiply 70 times the average cart value. It gives us our total return on ad spend, which is about $3,129. We subtract out the Facebook ad spend of $441, and we get $2,688, which gives us a 6.09 times return on ad spend, or ROAS. All right, so let's go through the scenario again. If we were to approximately double ad spend, we are assuming that the purchases are not going to double. So instead of 140, it'll go to 120. That means the cost per purchase is going to go up, and the average cart value is going to stay the same. Our return on ad spend is now $5,364, or if we subtract out the $1,000 of ad spend, $4,364. So we're making 4 times return on ad spend as opposed to 6 times. Okay, not as good, but we made more money, and it's how it works with scaling. Let's scale again. So let's say we double ad spend again. Okay, once again, are we going to get twice as many? Are we going to get 240 conversions? Probably not. Okay, so let's say we get 200. That would increase our cost per purchase by to $10. Average cart value stays the same. Return on ad spend is approximately $8,940. We take out the $2,000. Once again, we've made nearly $7,000 as opposed to $2,688. Right. Once again, ROAS has now dropped to 3.47, and now we'll try it again. We'll try a much bigger scale. So let's say we more than double the ad spend, right? 2.5 times it. So we're spending $5,000 on ads. Let's say we get 300 purchases at 16.66 cost per purchase at still similar average cart value, or this exact same average cart value. That will make our return on ad spend $13,410. The ROI after subtracting the 5K will be $8,410. And that's at 1.682 times ROAS. Now, still making significantly more money than if you were at a 6 times ROAS with spending $441. Now, at what point will this campaign cap out? Well, it may actually be capping out at 3,000 because maybe this doesn't hold steady, but we don't know it yet. And that would be the suggestion would be to raise it up and find the actual cap on both of these scenarios, both of these platforms, and find the actual full amount of money that you can basically squeeze out of both these platforms. And then you could, of course, move on to a different platform once you squeeze those to the top ROAS. If you have any questions, let me know. That is how you scale your ads on Facebook and Google.